Cans are cool. Stribog A3. We're about to show you an unbiased, fact-based, true review of how this thing works. So with the SP9 A3, the magazines have changed. The action has changed from direct blowback to a cam roller locking delay blowback. What has that changed in the gun? You've heard mixed reports, and we will show you, using our trademark What's for Dinner test, just how that's changed this gun. Also, why you may not want to buy every story you hear of a gun tested with a can on. So one of the questions was about the magazines. The new mags are different. They've got a metal feed lip on top. How do they run? No issues, of course, but does the old magazine run in the new gun? Old mag, same ammunition. This is Federal 115 grain training ammo. Runs and locks open. So if you've got a pile of old Stribog mags and they're good for the old Stribog, they will work in the new Stribog. Another question people had is, how good is the roller delayed? So we're starting off with the A1, some 158 grain subsonics, and once Tia drops the bolt there, we'll get a feeling for how quiet it is. Not using any microphone, camera is 3 feet away. So that's the A1. Now we'll pull up the A3 with its delay. With the A3 and its roller delay, same ammunition, same can. Pretty quiet. Is it quieter than an MP5? Now, for an MP5 clone, it's Zenith Z5 RS, same ammunition, same can. Now the questions folks have is there a recoil difference between the A1 and A3? So Tia and I are each going to rapid fire 5 shots out of both guns. Here's the A1. Now she'll pick up the A3 and give it 5 quick shots. See if you can see a difference. Now there is a variable in that these have different braces on them. Standing in the same spot, camera's in the same spot. Tia says she likes the A3 better. So now I will do the same thing. Once again, this is rapid fire for the purpose of looking at recoil management. I'm going to go thumb over charging handle, see if that helps at all. And now the A3. I wasn't as fast on the A3 as I was on the A1, but I can tell you, at least from my perception on the shoulder, this is softer. It's got more of a rolling push than that standard snap pop you get from direct blowback. Now let's get on to the big important thing. Does it run, and what does it run on? What's for dinner coming up next. Today's What's for Dinner test is a long one, and for good reason. That's because the SP9 A3, very similar to another European gun, but 60 years older, the MP5, was engineered with a delayed blowback action based around 9mm ammunition in Europe. What happens when it comes to the States? Well, as it turns out, we like to shoot stuff a little bit softer than they do in Europe, and so some of these rounds may or may not generate enough energy to cycle the action. We're going to show you that and show you possible solutions. Our lightest is a 90 grain. I'll let you read as I scroll by and take a look at those bullet profiles. We've got steel cased, aluminum cased, brass cased, nickel plated brass, full metal jackets, and hollow points, going all the way up to 165 grain as our heaviest. Now you notice these bullet profiles are all pretty similar, aside from maybe that critical defense pyramid thing, and the Norma being pointier. We did that on purpose. That's because the biggest difference in all of these loads even all of these common 115s here. We've got European 115, some Brazilian 115, and we've been shooting American 115 so far in the video. They are, again, the only difference between them is going to be their energy impulse. Let's see how the A3 does. So we're going to start this off with our heaviest loads. The 165 grain Hush. This is a subsonic load meant for running with the can on. We're going to run without a can, denying the gun that extra back pressure. Ran and locked open. Now at 147 grain Spirit Gold Dot. This is a hollow point. Would make for a great self-defense platform if this runs. And it does. Stouter recoil for sure with that load. Oh, but gold dots are so 2005, you say. Well, we've got SIG's EPA V-Crown 147 grain. These are our nickel-plated case. They run. SIG V-Crown now in 124 grain. And we had a failure to feed. We'll put the can on it and see if that extra back pressure is going to make the difference. Same SIG V-Crown 124 grain with a can for a little bit extra back pressure. Still not going to work. The bullet profile or the pressure created from it is not going to work with this gun. Another popular load, 124 grain Gold Dot. Remember the Gold Dot 147 ran, as did, no, the V-Crown didn't work either, did it? No trouble with Gold Dot. Norma's Hexagon 124 grain. Also a hollow point of sorts, though intended for sport and competition shooting. No issues. Now into the 115 grains Hornady Critical Defense. This is a really short, snubby, pyramid-shaped bullet. But it runs. Blazer aluminum 115 grain, lightweight and cheap. Remember, a lot of PCC manufacturers warn against using aluminum because that expansion and contraction rate of the aluminum is different than it is on brass and can lead to problems. We're doing this for testing purposes only because it runs. Now we're on to Wolf steel cased 115 grain. Same concerns as aluminum. No issues. Some Gecko white box 115 grain. Now this is European manufactured 115 grain. Look at that malfunction. That is more of a mag issue than anything else. We've had the round slip out of the magazine so wily that it tried to eject before firing. It was trying to cheat its job. We'll try the same load in a different magazine and see if we get a different result. I'll show you real quick how you clear this without making it worse. Ejection ports where? Right here. Gravity goes where? That way. Oh look, it's cleared. Still won't fire because it's unsafe. There we go. Let's try that other mag now. Same Gecko 115 grain, but in a different magazine. No issues. Fiocchi 115 grain full metal jacket. Very affordable standard ball. No trouble. Now, more affordable 115 grain, the MagTech. Stuff's out of Brazil. No trouble. Now the Norma MHP for many hungry puppies. Monolithic hollow point. 108 grain hollow point. I want to mention part of why I shoot rapidly in this is it is possible to outrun a magazine. To shoot faster than the magazine can properly feed it. Not necessarily the cyclic rate of the gun, but if a round has soft power, right, and it's not really shoving that bolt back, the bolt might not be moving fast enough for the magazine to keep up. So it could go either way. But not with the Norma. Remington UMC's leadless, not lead free, just leadless, 100 grain. Soft shooting. Winchester Super Clean 90 grain zinc core. These are a snubby nose and lightweight. no issues. So one thing I do want to say before you go off looking at how awesome this gun just ran, when we first got ours in, we had some issues. We found it to run with certain loads only with a can on, not without the can. I have not cleaned it since then. We've had probably about 1,000 rounds or so through it of various loads. Did some extra testing before making this video because we wanted to make sure we had this story right. It would appear that maybe it just needed a break-in. I've known Grand Powers Manufacturing to be excellent and to have good, excellent tight tolerances. You'd think that having a dirty gun would somehow mess that up, but I think maybe just everything needed some time to be broken in. These same loads that you just saw us shoot rapidly without a suppressor, with no issues, didn't want to function very well the last time we were at the range, to be honest. Today there have been no troubles whatsoever. So, does the gun have potential issues? Maybe. As long as you're using good ammunition with the right pressure, either enough bullet weight and or enough velocity, no issues at all. Ours was choking on some basic 115 brass, but not on 124 grain. So we paused and wanted to figure things out. Today you just saw it run all the way down to 90 grain and 3 or 4 different types of American off-the-shelf affordable 115 grain plinking ammo. So with that said, I think it's just as reliable as the old one after some break-in. So, to let off a little bit of steam over some of the frustration and concerns we had on this, we've got 25 or so 165 grain subs in here with the can on it because, well, it's really fun to shoot suppressed subsonic, even though it may artificially make the gun run better or worse. These mags are a bear to load, very difficult. That's really why we stopped at about 25, because out here, without an up Lula or something like that, just not many other options. So now you're hearing it through the microphone on my shirt. We'll see how quiet this is. I'm going to shoot at an angle. You might have noticed at the beginning of the video, Tia was shooting at an upward angle. We're actually in a pretty deep quarry with quite a tall backstop. So for me to miss that backstop, well, something terrible must be wrong. Anyways, see how this goes? It closed on that full mag. Love that sound. So quiet. Hopefully you guys could hear the rounds impacting way out there. All I really heard to my ear was the brass hitting the ground. Smooth shooting, runs well. Accuracy testing will be in another video. Just want to get this out to help explain some of the confusion over if the gun runs at all, if it's worth it, if you can use different mags. Why did one channel show it only with a can on, another channel sometimes with no can, all that kind of stuff. We're just keeping it real. Thanks for watching.